Big up on yourself one time for definitely tuning into another Vibrations, brothers and sisters. Hand clap was done, brothers and sisters. And of course, welcome to this here Mystelics reaction, guys. Of course, this is the very first out of 2 reactions I'll be dropping on this here YouTube platform. So, brothers and sisters, don't forget to do what? Click the thumbs up button, brothers and sisters. Click that like button, helping the algorithm to push further these videos right there. And of course, subscribe and turn on that post notification so you can pretty much get the vibrations. And also, getting the vibrations when I tend to drop them, you'll be notified, brothers and sisters, for which I must definitely do so when I drop my videos, notify you guys when I am dropping my videos. So the best way to do so is to subscribe and of course helping that channel to grow. With that said, right there and there. Now, brothers and sisters, let us get into the vibrations for today. Of course, we have none other than Mr. Grog back again. Remember the white folks who were deported from Dominica? Well, apparently they are continuing the case. Yes, brothers and sisters, they have the case based off the children themselves, from my understanding in that regard. And of course, let us listen to what he has to say in that regard right there.
Good day, friends and family. It is April 13th, 2024.
Okay, guys, you know what? I'm gonna hold on. Okay, guys, we are finally back. I had to put this into the editor so I can get the volumes up. There we go, right there, brothers and sisters. Let's continue.
Good day, friends and family. It is April 13th, 2024.
So that was about 5 days ago. Okay.
Here is the High Court update. Well, let's start off with the fact that the Attorney General's office came out swinging against us. It wasn't good enough that they illegally deported, essentially kidnapping my family at about 5:30 in the morning and trafficking us out of the country. Yeah.
Without the documents, that's another interesting part of it right there.
That's called human trafficking. Yeah.
Yeah,
they came out swinging against us. It put a lot of stress on my lawyer because my lawyer had to rewrite all the things that she had written to give to the court, and due to some illnesses as well within the family, she was not able to get it in on time.
They're talking about writing, brothers and sisters. Don't they have computers and these kind of things that can actually be used to help? I mean, why are we still writing stuff? Maybe they'll say, oh, maybe somebody else could probably write this stuff or put it on a computer or something, so they need your actual writing. But wouldn't you be able to authenticate this stuff? I mean, if the person is bringing it and the lawyer brings it and say, hey, this is what I'm presenting, don't you think, especially when they have stamps and these kind of things which you can stamp, don't you think it would be viable for them to be able to type this stuff out? You have to then rewrite stuff from, really? That's it's interesting. Eh?
The judge thankfully gave her some 48 hours to do it, and she was able to comply with that. However, the Attorney General's office, pretty much doing what they typically do, it's okay for them to be late, as they have been repeatedly, but when it's some grace needs to be given to us, it's not to be afforded. Although, I tell you what, her name's Vaneka Sombers Joseph. I don't know, she's with the Attorney General's office. I'm not sure I've ever really seen her before.
I myself don't know who that is.
The gentleman that's supposed to be in charge of our case, Kevin Julian, for some reason his audio couldn't work. They're in the same office, right? Their names are both in the Attorney General's office. They're sitting in the same building. I'm guessing this lady just has more seniority and wants to shove this down our throats.
Interesting.
Her favorite saying is, no lack of compassion, but we really don't like you. In fact, we hate you and your family.
Did they say that? That's crazy.
No lack of compassion. He just has more seniority and wants to shove this down our throats. Her favorite saying is, no lack of compassion, but we really don't like you. In fact, we hate you and your family.
Wow, that's crazy right there.
And we don't want to do anything to help you out. Yeah.
I mean, if the state is about to lose, I mean, it's very clear based off the evidence that is presented, especially considering the court literally admitted that what happened with the little ones, his little ones, was not based off any law. They went above the time. And when the grandparents them came, well, let me leave that. I'll leave that for him to explain, brothers and sisters. When I get more updates, I'll post it up for you guys to see as well. Anyways, let's continue.
The Constitution's there for a reason, and it applies to all people.
True.
That's why we say, by what standard? Now we know that the Attorney General's office has no real standard. It's whatever fits the bill. If they feel like shredding the Constitution one day, well, they shred it hard.
I I remember reading an article of that sentiment as well, where people believe that because they are, they are the supposed keepers, the gatekeepers of the law. They think that they can just break it themselves because they are the gatekeepers. But the question here is, who is keeping these folks accountable for what they have done or what they will be doing? I wonder, I'm thinking of the police. Doesn't the police have to keep? But then again, if the whole system is corrupt, sometimes you have to wonder. But corruption does have a price, and it does have an expiry date. That's what people don't seem to understand. All throughout history, when corruption has been the order of the day, it has fallen tremendously. Sometimes it's not even the person that has done the corruption that paid the price. Their children paid the price. I'm thinking of a particular governor. He died, but his children ended up paying the price for what he has done. Right now they're in jail. Okay, let's continue.
But when it's ready for them to be pulled out, they find the piece that they've shredded, and then they apply it to the case that they wish to apply it to. God doesn't play that game.
True.
I'm a Christian. I don't play that game either. So
Facts.
there will be accountability. Let me show you what I mean. Here's an affidavit from Sergeant James. Sergeant James was the main incompetent in charge who...
Well, I mean, if you have the leader, why is his name? Valerie talking about amnesty and then telling people when they bring the guns, they will charge them during amnesty. I mean, let's continue.
As you can see, the second paragraph, he comes out with the dubious claim of not knowing whether these children were my children.
That is the funny part that had me there, guys. That is the funny part that had me there. Let's continue.
That the uncertified copies, photocopies, and the purported birth certificates are all different in style and appearance and circumstance.
Even though they all came together through the airport. You guys not only deported, when they were going on the plane, you stopped them from going on the plane. All of them were together. And you did not know who children they were. So just three random children just following two two older folks, adult folks. Three little children just following people. That is the argument, that you did not know who children they were.
I neither admit nor deny that the claimant is the biological father of the named children as purported, because I do not know whether the birth certificates are authentic. Gee, who else could they have been? This is what gets me, right? This is how they start off. And there's a couple more pages of this foolishness. All this stuff, mind you, will be made public. Because I intend to do this in a very public fashion.
But brothers and sisters, I giggle under my breath there. The height of that is the, you couldn't come up with something better, brothers. I mean, come on, something better. You didn't know that he was their father. You didn't know that the parents were their mother and father. That is what you're coming up with. And you expect to be believed in court. Brothers and sisters, when you're trying to do things, you have to try to come up with any. I remember for my own, where when they're talking about they had to send my stuff overseas for them to do things when they could just pull out the SD card. They said they had to send my thing Trinidad or wherever they had to send it, brothers and sisters. I know they never send it nowhere, but they had to send it over, so they tried their best to keep it as long as possible. Not true? Yes. All they had to do was take out the SD card and chuck it in their computer and see what happening. Maybe they thought my SD card might have something inside it, so if they put it in, it might contaminate their system, maybe. Boy, and the best thing you can come up with is you think that these little ones, you will not, well, I neither admit nor deny. So you're not admitting, not denying that the claimant was their father or not. You're not admitting that, but you refuse the little ones to be associated with them, bypassing the time allotted for them. Boy. Even the court system, how could this happen? Dominica court saying, how could this happen? They can just reference to what the court say. All you lose.
Far too long, the Dominican government.
I don't understand how we foolish. Valerie come in and say some foolishness. Look, that Ted Calbas, Sean, why is that Sir James? How you come in and say you didn't know? boy. That is what you arguing. That.
And especially the Attorney General's office.
I vex. It's never my children. I just trying to figure out. You expect to be believable in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. You didn't know if he was their father or not. And you literally saying in paragraph number 2, you didn't deny or admit that they were not his children. So what was the point of that paragraph, sir? What was the point of that? No, man. You cannot be so foolish. You have a set of foolish people in police. That is what that there. A set of foolish. That is the best you can. Guys, explain that to me. Maybe it's me that foolish. But explain that to me.
Office has been doing things in the dark. Well, let me show you what they're referring to when they say their birth certificates. All right, here's Gracia's birth certificate. It's a pretty straightforward issued 2006 birth certificate.
Simple. The names are there. All these things are there. The child of this individual, where they were born in Indiana on whichever day, blah blah blah. Recorded as this. So we've seen that there. That's one.
Makes sense, right?
Yes.
Pretty easy. Now, this one's a little different, true, but they had our originals. So,
that is the next one. Yes, it looks completely different from this one. But to me, it's not the aesthetic you should be looking at to see if it's proof or not. Not the writing in the aesthetic that you're saying you should be looking at. And you're saying that you're not sure? What?
True, but they had our originals. So,
tell you.
Here's Ilya's. This is a more modern. This is what you'd get in the States or in Indiana.
That's the other one. All the information there. It's not like anything different. You see the variations on where they were born. Oh, this one was born in Peru. So I guess it was on some sort or whatever. But you're saying child off. You're seeing it there. But you're saying the aesthetic confuse you. The coloring. You see one plain. You see that place, like, okay. And you see someone coloring, you say, no, that cannot be authentic.
At least if you were to get your children's birth certificate, again from the state of Indiana, this is a certificate of birth. This is what the more modern one looks like if you go to the health department.
Brothers and sisters in Dominica, let's say he don't know. All right, he don't know. In Dominica, brothers and sisters, remember the pink birth certificate they used to give you? Remember the pink one? Then it transitioned to another one, and then you get the present one, the square, the legal paper looking one. Remember the long one that was drawn out, the pink paper and all the details on it? So there's variations. So because you have the pink paper and you have the present one, you will say, oh, it's not really authentic. You can't say that's authentic.
And here's Nathan's.
Oi.
Do you notice they're not all that different? They all say the state of Indiana. They all say they were born in Peru. Pretty standard. Yet he couldn't figure out that those white children that they've been extending their passports for.
And they come through immigration. They came through immigration. You see all these details. Or you stop them in the airport. You see them with them. But you're not sure who is the biological father. So you kept them in the custody of the state for longer than expected. When the grandparents came.
It's 2.5 years were my kids?
You expect to win? This is why I was telling people, Dominicans, when you see police do all you think, sue them. Simple. You know how much money all you could be making as a result of the wrongdoings of police officers. If, brothers and sisters, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that things can happen. Yes, things can happen, true. But based on all the trajectories that has happened, when you hear people have died in police custody this week. In police custody, man dying. When they see how much beating on person and what have you, and they don't know what really? And family not so. Oh, are you doing that to the wrong set of people? Wrong set of. I remember when I was in Botanical Gardens and they had this whole thing for November 3rd. I myself thought it was the cultural gala we were going. They had another thing there, and it was the Labour Party people. But brothers and sisters, once the money was spent from the public purse, it doesn't matter if it's labor right, whatever that there. Public purse requires public individuals to be there. Nobody can tell you cannot come there. If it's the public officials, the labor right, get their money from the labor right people, no problem. You will have your own thing. But it comes from the public purse. You cannot tell nobody to come there. Them police officers or security guards of security or whoever see me there and trying to intimidate me. Boy, I have no problem making a career out of suing the government for wrongdoings. Brothers and sisters, you know why? Because if that doesn't take place and take precedence, you know what's going to happen? Tyranny will run rampant in society. Tyranny will run rampant in society because there is no punishment for that of which they do. Or you're going after the wrong set of people. And or you go after Grog. Or you go after Mr. Grog. When I tell you Grog going to come back, Dominica, you think a joke I make? Okay.
Pretty simple white boy from north central Indiana who's seeking glory, honor, and immortality in the name of Christ. But I would say their lead off on that response and their affidavit was
ridiculous.
Pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But
highly irrevocably foolish. That is the stupidest. These people are running. But then again, we have incompetence from the head, brothers and sisters. We have a minister of education, that is a other Ted Kalbas. And we have a set of people that try to take glory for what they never do. Minister of tourism. Them people want to bring back daily flights. You think it's minister of tourism that can negotiate with them? You think so? Okay.
What do I know, right? And then the second part. All right, well, let's get to that. The Attorney General's office was complicit in our illegal deportation. They neglected, of course, to notify the High Court of their actions, as is required of the High Court to have a hand in any deportation. So if they kicked us out of the country to perhaps improve their odds...
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. They thought sending them out of the country would improve their odds so that they would not get sued in the way that they thought that they would. That's most likely the only reason. This is why I mentioned in previous reaction. I don't know who are these people's advisors. Who is these people's advisors right now? Brothers and sisters, it's not just them, but they also look into the 7 Americans. Boy, Dominica, easy that boy. They're looking into what took place with the 7 Americans as well. The Embassy of the United States, Washington, D.C.
And making this more difficult for me to pursue? Yeah. This is the next level of wickedness that you're seeing coming out. The rope is at the end. It is starting to fray. Now, what does Scripture have to say about this?
Tell us the Scriptures.
In Deuteronomy, it says, "Cursed be anyone who perverts the justice due to a sojourner, the fatherless and the widow." Well,
those that don't read their Bible, you know. Scary them always saying, and the Lord gave and all these things there. They doesn't read their Bible, you know. They might hear something here and there, or maybe they grew up in Catholic church somewhere and they hear a little thing here and there and they coming back and say they doesn't read the Bible for them to know. If man was reading the Bible, which makes me talk about the next reaction, brothers and sisters. Tune in for that one on BrBpTV. You guys want to hear this one. Big up Lofty for definitely bringing that story out. And there's more stories like that I've also been told, especially one in St. Joseph and the bus driver, who's apparently some Calypsonian, giving neighbors problems, brothers and sisters. We will talk about that in the next reaction. Tune in.
They fit the sojourner, and so does my family. Cursed be anyone
who lies,
who perverts the justice due to the sojourner. And in Proverbs we find it is not good to be partial to the wicked, or to deprive the righteous of justice.
Ah, yes.
So, were my children wicked? Or were they righteous children that you are deprived?
They left those people in jail for more than they... Boy, they left them in jail. Guys, and a number of persons, Dominicans, one of the things Dominicans crazy, you know. I know some Dominicans might not like Americans, so whatever happens, they happy. You're foolish, brothers and sisters. If you don't, let me help all you understand something. Dominica currency is on the basis of American currency, which means that American currency backs up the United EC currency. A number of persons don't like America. They realize that a lot of things that are tied to the United States. So if America falls, brothers and sisters, you know that means the Caribbean going to fall too. Remember when they were talking about the inflation value, and when Scared was talking about we are importing a lot of imported inflation? When American sneezes, brothers and sisters, Dominica catches the cold. Things that are happening to America will definitely affect Dominica. And sometimes all you want to see the fall, not realizing that if it falls, you too going to fall. Boy, some of all he doesn't think at all. Or he just, oh, I don't like them, I don't like them. Look at the injustice that is happening. The injustice that is happening. And it happened again to 7 other Americans.
Depriving of justice. You have no compassion. You are evil. You should be cursed. And in Ecclesiastes, moreover, I saw under the sun that in the place of justice, even there was wickedness. And in the place of righteousness, even there was wickedness.
Guys, you know what they're telling me? That this type of behavior, what we see at present, was happening long time ago, even in biblical times, which means human beings have an inclination. When they are in charge of justice, brothers and sisters, this is why I agree with certain principles when they say you cannot leave certain people in positions for too long. You have them for 2 terms and get them out. You cannot have them in positions for too long, or otherwise they might get corrupted. Human nature is something interesting. People that I know in certain positions in government in Dominica today, brothers and sisters, would never stand for what they are doing now. 20 years ago, they would never stand for that. But maybe they start seeing a little money coming in and they checking, boy, you know, I get a little something. My hand's not in it, it's they that doing it, you know, but I associated. I just get in my court, I don't have to say nothing, I don't have to do nothing for my people, them. I just have to draw my money. And they will come in elections and tell you how much they care, what your mother and your father couldn't do for you. Not true. All right.
I said in my heart, God will judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every matter and for every work. Now let me take this time to especially point out to the people of Dominica that you have a constitution that says God is supreme above all things. Yeah.
Facts.
Even supreme above the current rulers that have been duly or perhaps not so duly elected. It is quite clear that evil and corruption is coming down from the very tops of the government.
Facts. Did he lie, brothers and sisters? Did he say any lie there? No, absolutely not. Facts.
Multiple times they have shown their fangs, their poison, and their evil, not against foreigners alone, but against their own.
Brothers and sisters, how on earth you have a set of foreigners come to take jobs from Dominicans, and Dominicans have to beg the foreigners that come from overseas that have been allowed to come into Dominica by their leaders who they voted for to do things for themselves. They have to go and beg the foreigners for jobs in their own land. What?
That's a level of wickedness that must be dealt with. There is accountability to be had. And this is why I continue to call on the Attorney General's office and the DPP to release the paperwork of our supposedly fair and just deportation.
They're not gonna do that. They will never do that. That means they are just, it's like feeding the flames. Why would they do that? It's the right thing to do, yes, but why would they do that? For their own demise and destruction. Why would they do that? They would not send you these kind of things. Hopefully your lawyers can get it done, get it. You know? But in all hearts of hearts, they would not want to do this. Not at all.
Or trafficking, or kidnapping, whatever you want to call it.
Because if that happens, it's another case, another law. Boy, is another lawsuit that coming there? That's one of the things you do never want to play with is the American people, especially those that know the laws. Especially those that know the laws. This is why I was telling brothers and sisters, the schooling system has failed the next generation. Because the next generation know nothing about laws. Nothing about their own rights, but they don't know their own constitution. Can you imagine people growing up without knowing their own rights? So whatever the leaders tell them, they're hoping that the leaders have their best interest in mind. And they're growing up without actually knowing nothing. They're Ted Kalbas. They're hollow-headed, brothers and sisters. And we expect the next generation, I always say the youth are the future. Brothers and sisters, if the youth growing up with hollow heads are the future, we in problems. We in problems. You know it's problems? Problems, brothers and sisters.
I even called the DPP's office the other day. Friday. Yeah, that's right. Yesterday. Talked to the secretary of the DPP. She put me on speakerphone to make sure everybody could hear what I was saying. I was polite. But I let them know they are authorized to release my paperwork. Put it in the Sun. Put it in the Chronicle. Put it online. But we do need to see whether what they're saying is truthful or, yet again, a lie. Well, thanks for sticking around this long. It's been a little bit longer of a video, but there was a lot, and there's actually a lot more to this.
Oh, yes.
It would just take me hours to unpack it. But I've got something exciting you guys are going to want to know about. Next month, I will be rehashing my 1-year anniversary of being harassed and intimidated by Feed My Sheep, as well as their illegal use of their government connections. That's going to be hot.
Hey, we're looking forward.
I encourage you, make sure you're paying attention to what's about to roll down the hills, because it's coming. But until then, grace and peace be to you from God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ.
Or chaos?
Take care.
You don't say Christ or chaos now, my brother. What's going on? I guess you go back to America, so it is what it is. But yes, guys, I understand some people might not like America and, Americans because they feel, Americans. Yes, America has its flaws, brothers and sisters. But when it comes to injustice, injustice is injustice anywhere you go. Just like if you go down America and you get injustice be served to you, need justice. You can't have injustice happening to people because it's Dominica. Oh, yeah, Americans, they can't take it. What? That's you allow one to escape, brothers and sisters. How much you going to allow to escape now? Huh? How much? This is why I was telling you, when the police are doing bad things to you, you might have to make some deal with the lawyer and say, okay, you'll get half of the... You bound to win the case. You bound to. It's not might. You bound to win the case. You know how much lawsuits have been filed against Dominica? One of the things Dominica doing, and a number of judges have pointed this out, say that a lot of the cases they have been slow trotted. They are taking their time and spending how much years and this kind of things there for a simple case. But it will come to an end. That is the beautiful part. It will come to an end, brothers and sisters. And what is rightfully due unto you should go on to you. When people want to do all kind of things and say, oh, nobody can touch them and this kind of things, then take them to court. Take them to court, brothers and sisters. Sometimes people wouldn't feel nothing unless you touch their pocket, you know that? People wouldn't feel nothing unless you touch their pockets. Which makes me think, of the next reaction, brothers and sisters. Tune in for what that one on BrBpTV a bit later on this about Mystelics on this here. Mystelics reaction, guys. This is just my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the subject matter? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. And of course, hopefully when I get more information in regards to this, I will definitely bring it forth for you guys to see as well. So about Mystelics once again, guys. Be real! Don't forget, brothers and sisters, to click the thumbs up button, click the like button, and of course subscribe and turn on our post notifications so you can get notified when I drop my videos, as well as helping the channel to grow further and further in that regard right there. It's about Mystelics once again, guys. Be real! Salute the king. Be positive.